Welcome everyone and welcome to my nightmare guide, and if you haven't already seen my master guide then I recommend watching it as it covers a lot of things you need to know before hopping into nightmare that I will not be covering here. And well, you may ask, then what am I covering? I'll be covering mainly techniques and strategies that have got me through quite a few nightmare runs and some solo runs as well. And I'll also have a guide out in the future, so if you want to subscribe I'll have a video out how to do solo Skid Row. Without further ado though, here are the tips. First, I want to cover quick swapping, as it is important to know what guns are in what holsters, as a shotgun ready and pumped can easily stun an enemy that is about to hit you. So, what I recommend doing is just having consistent layout for your guns, whether it be your shotgun on your right or on your left. Just make sure you have them consistently where they are, so you can quickly just swap to them to save yourself in a bad situation. Next, kind of continuing from that tip, is gun choice, as gun choice does matter here. As we're not going into Master, we're going to Nightmare, and you're going to need to have at least one high DPS gun, like the Arizona Shotgun or SMG, as they can stun enemies, which is something I'm going to talk about later, but having a high damage gun allows for quick disposal of special enemies and the final boss. I personally like running Assault Carbine, Shotgun, and SMG, but feel free to bring whatever you want, as on stream I have done a solo pistol run, so I think that goes to show that it doesn't matter what guns you have, and to be honest, I also want to cover, you don't really need attachments to be able to do Nightmare. You just need to be very accurate and just know what you're doing. Movement and strategies are mainly what will get you through Nightmare. The third tip I want to talk about is using the vending machines. And whilst yes, you don't need much to do Nightmare runs, items like pipe bombs and stuff can help you with a match-made squad. Seeing as if someone does take damage, well, you have the extra stim, and if you're in a hairy situation, you can just spam pipe bombs. Items just make it a lot easier, especially if you're doing it with match-made squad, which takes me on to matchmake with people. Yes, I already said this in my master guide, but it's still prevalent here. There are quite a few people who are wanting to do Nightmare on the official Discord, which I will link below, and just in-game matchmake, so don't be afraid to just hop in and do some runs. Who knows, you might even find a squad that you frequently do runs with. Next is a tip I briefly brought up earlier, and it's stunning. And it's weird to think that people honestly don't take more advantage of this when running past hordes, as it can save your life and most likely will in the grand scheme of things. Simply shoot a Z as it goes to hit you in some exposed flesh and it will stun. It's stopping the attack, and it is really helpful in places like the boss fight, or if you're a runner doing top parking garage. Moving on, I want to talk about strategies. So each area somewhat has a strategy to them that you can abuse, whether it be only one person staying back on the zip line and all three going across so that you have that safe player, or whether it be you have the runner on parking garage and you have your three people in safe room just stocking up. Yeah, there are strategies like that. And it even goes on to stuff like Chinatown, how at the start you can all stay up and one person can go activate the hordes. Stuff like that can win you runs. So I recommend learning a few, going in, trying to figure out some, but also make sure you're on mic and talking about what you want to do and what you want to try before you just do it. Otherwise, your team's not going to know what's going to go on. So try and communicate and, just speak to people. Next up on the agenda, I have a nice little tip for the boss fight, what will make it easier for you and your squad, and that is to just be mindful of not only your own surroundings, but your teammates, as it can get chaotic in the mix of blood and bullets, but you need to know where your teammates are and where the zombies are. So try and be mindful of if there are any zombies on your teammates, and where the next horde is coming at the same time. And here's a clip of what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Waterline.
Spawn.
We spawn. Coming from left side too.
Spawn again. Mini wave coming from safe zone, and jug is safe, jug wall, safe zone kind of area.
And start making sure you and your team communicate and are aware of each other's situations can help, as you can help get people out of bad situations. And also, you can communicate and get each other around hordes. Next, I want to talk about Special Infected and how to deal with them. So, for each Special Infected, there's this kind of strategy to use to be able to deal with each of them easily. Brutes, you kind of all want to focus on the Brute and make sure you break its head armor and shoot its head. Its head is where it can get stunned very easily, and also it's its crit spot. So make sure you shoot its head. It will kill it very fast, trust me. Next, the Eater. If you shoot its legs, it will stun it. And if you shoot its head, obviously it's critical damage. Its head is kind of in a weird spot, so make sure you look for it. If it gets blood on it, it can be kind of hard to see. So just kind of make sure you know the general area where it is and just shoot at it. Next is the Juggernaut. And, well, the Juggernaut, try and aim for its head. A high damage gun, like the shotgun, can easily do enough damage to stun it. Seeing to stun the Juggernaut, you need to do a high amount of damage in a few seconds, and that will stun the Juggernaut and bring it to its feet. Make sure, though, that you do not go near the Juggernaut when you're in a train. It can fuck you up so badly, especially in the boss fight. In the boss fight, I actually recommend you ignore the zombies for a bit and kill that Juggernaut to make it easier for your squad to train around. Seeing as it will be chaotic, and if someone gets grabbed by that Jug, you're not going to be able to help them. Because there are so many zombies, you're going to have to just ignore them. Moving on from the special infected, there are the normal infected. And, well, yeah, they're easy to dispatch and have low health compared to the special infected. What you want to do is actually look for the exposed part, as each zombie will have at least one part that isn't exposed by ice armor. And it can make the horde a lot easier if you focus on that one part. Whether it be a leg and just make them into a crawler, which means they're a lot slower and they will be able to hold the horde back if they're at the front. Another thing is try and aim headshot height. I don't know if this is a tip from a lot of tactical first-person shooters. And what you want to do is just make sure you're aiming at the heads, so any that have an exposed head, they're just gone straight away. This does, though, some zombies won't have ice armor, so they'll just be easy to dispatch. Just make sure you're paying attention to each zombie and not just laying lead into one guy and hoping he dies. So yeah, knowing your teammate's size is really important. For if I had to learn this kind of on the fly when I was doing my solo nightmare runs, as I had to rely on the bots, so I had to know where they were and what they were doing and if they were safe. Because you see, if the bots get surrounded by maybe 2 zombies, they will die, so you need to clear them. But for your teammates, obviously they won't die if there's just 2 zombies on them. But anyway, you might as well just try and shoot the zombies off them and help them out. It'll make the rounds go faster, they'll be able to focus quickly on the bigger horde rather than the 2 that are on them. So yeah, just a simple shooting an enemy can pretty much just clear up time. Now, this is a kind of a tip because I think people don't realize you can go as slow as you want. The time bonus doesn't matter that much, but what you kind of want to do is just take your time with Nightmare. Each fight doesn't need to be done as quickly as possible over and over and over again. What you want to do is actually just take your time. Take your time to examine the area, whether you need to take a fight or not. I see so many times people go into the side arcade and activate that horde for no reason. If there is no items in there, you do not need to clear it. There are so many rooms like this that you just don't need to go into if there's no important items. Or if you already have a ton of items, there is no point bringing more. Seeing as it's just more to carry. One thing I just want to talk about. Do people forget they have wrist rockets? Don't be afraid to actually use your wrist rocket. I use it sometimes in the first area if the horde kind of comes out of nowhere on my left. So I'll just use it and basically help our team back up and recuperate so we can just take out that horde easier. Seeing as the wrist rockets are there. Yeah, feel free to use them. You can use them at any point. You'll probably mainly use them actually though in areas like the starting area in the boss fight. They're the most common areas where you want to use them. But don't be afraid if you are hunkering up in the safe room to just activate them and try and clear some time if you need to reload a shotgun or something. So yeah, just kind of use your wrist rockets a bit more. Just be more aware that they are there. Last but not least, it's kind of mandatory to have simple reloading on now. This is Nightmare. You will not need the harvest at the end. You're going for the red attachment. I know you are. I see you. I know what you're doing. You just want the red attachments for that assault carbine. I know you do. I know you want that shotgun barrel so badly. So just turn on simple reloading, okay? In the gameplay settings, turn off advanced and just change it to simple reloading. This allows you to get more damage out as you're not spending time reloading. You are just shooting over and over and over again. You're able to have that constant DPS, which means you're stunning enemies, you're killing enemies. And also, it just means that you can use the shotgun a lot easier, so you don't have to reload shells into the gun. You can just keep cocking it back. So if you're a really good shotgunner, like me, you can just constantly spam shotgun shots and clear holds out. So yeah, that's all, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check my Twitch in the description. This is where I get a lot of my videos done and recorded. As you can probably see in the bottom left, I probably have a follower counter and my recent followers there. As well as, I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Sundays, so come check me out over there. So yeah, see ya.